couple found an infant. Due to the child's giant heritage, they had to hand it over to the tribe for safety. Soon after, the Grand Elder conducted a divination, discovering that this giant infant was extraordinary. Leaving the child in the village would bring about their downfall. So the Grand Elder organized a small team, instructing them to take the infant to the village's boundary marker and hand it over to a giant to raise. Nick also volunteered to join the team without hesitation. As they were leaving, the Grand Elder solemnly gave him 3 candies, saying they had magical powers. If thrown at an enemy, they would turn the enemy into stone, to be used for their protection in case of danger on the road. Thus, the team set off swiftly towards the boundary marker. After what seemed like a long journey, Nick stopped to change the infant's diaper, and the exhausted group took the opportunity to rest. However, at that moment, a sudden galloping of hooves was heard. The group quickly found places to hide. Luckily, the horses did not detect the hidden group and galloped off towards the distance. The group realized the gravity of the situation and decided not to delay any further, preparing to hurry to the boundary marker to send the infant away. After days and nights of relentless travel, they finally arrived at their destination. All that was left was to wait for a passing giant and then hand over the infant to them. However, just at that moment, a mysterious voice caught everyone's attention. As they looked around in bewilderment, a large, robust hand suddenly from the nearby iron cage, firmly grasping Nico.
Give me some water, Nick. Die. You understand?
Upon seeing that the cage held a giant, one of the teammates suggested giving the baby to him. Nick, upon hearing this, strongly opposed the idea, arguing that someone locked up here could not be a good person. The man in the cage, through their conversation, also roughly understood the situation and said that if he was freed, he would raise the child well. But Nick didn't believe him at all and urged everyone to wait a little longer to see if another giant would appear. Nevertheless, the teammates couldn't wait any longer and decided to return immediately. Only Nick's good friend chose to stay behind with him, but time seemed to pass slowly, with no other giants appearing and their supplies dwindling. At this point, the man in the cage said that he knew many women with child-rearing experience, and if he were released, he would find the best home for the child. Nick was somewhat hesitant upon hearing this, but there were no better options available, so they decided to take a chance and subsequently released the man from the cage. Fortunately, the man did not turn on them. He solemnly swore to Nick that he would find a good family for the child. Watching the child's receding back, Nick felt a pang of sorrow, yet there was nothing he could do. Soon after, the two of them set off on their way home. Nick thought that was the end of it, but the next moment, he suddenly heard the child's voice,